Okay, so here we are for Bindy's second update. She's been doing really well. She went to the vet last Friday and got her second vaccine and checkup, and that went really well. She's continuing to sleep in her crate at night. She's doing absolutely fantastic on that. Kind of has gotten the routine now. We put her in there and she doesn't really whine or make much noise at all. She never really has made a ton of noise from the beginning, but she's settling even more. You can just tell she's understanding the routine. Let's see. So we've been, working off of what I showed you last week. The manding, standing, more of that free stack standing. We've done a little bit more with the target, but the new things that we've added in are sitting at my left side in the heel position to begin to help us get ready for leash training and heeling at my left side when walking forward. She's starting to get that down, and so I'll probably add the leash probably tonight, or maybe I'll just start it tomorrow, but I think she's about ready for that. And then we've been working on showing her bite, so being able to lift her gums and show her bite without fussing. That's been going pretty good. And let's see, we've started working on sit and down. She's had the Dremel done to her nails, which she was really good for. A little squirmy at first, but then she figured it out. I thought there was something else I wanted to mention. It's not coming to me right at the moment. So anyway, I'll just get started here and we'll just kind of show you where she's at and what she's doing. We'll see how she does. She's been outside all morning, so she's actually kind of a little tired, huh? So we'll see how she does here, and we'll get going. So I'm gonna try and adjust the camera just a little bit here. Let's see if I can get it to point down. I think that'll work. Okay, I really need somebody here to just videotape me, but this works. Okay, I think that'll work. I'm gonna grab some treats. Okay, so here we are. So I'm just gonna put her right in the heel position and just show you that what we've been working on. So what I do here is there's quite a bit of luring in the beginning. So I'm luring her with a treat to come over and sit just like that on my left side. And so I'm particular about where she's sitting. I want her to sit right next to me. I don't want her to sit next to me facing me. I want us both facing forward, just like that. So if she were to come out of place, which she probably will here eventually, I would just use my treat that's in my left hand and lure her back. Oops, I just dropped a treat and she got it. So here she's out of position. So I'm just gonna lure her back, swing her wide like this, and then hold it up above her head and she sits, click and treat. And see how she stays in place and she's starting to look for eye contact? That's really good. So once she understands the concept, which she already has, then that's when I start looking for a little bit longer duration. So, in the beginning, it's a lot of almost immediate clicking as soon as they do something right. I don't ask them to hold it for too long because they probably won't. But once she understands the concept, you can start trying to work on that duration, which is what we're doing now. So this isn't perfect. I'd like her to be a little closer to my leg, but you know, we can work on refining it as we go along. I just like the fact that she's staying relatively straight. Oh, she went out of position, so that's okay. Let's see if I can get her back. Lure her right here. Sit. Perfect. Good girl. Okay. So now when I want to walk forward, I'm going to tell her to heel, and I'm going to step off with my left leg first. So I'll just show you. I say heel, and that's it. She followed me. Click. And then she's out of position for the sit, so I'm going to try and rearrange her here. There it is. Perfect. Whoops. Lure her back. Oh, she's a little crooked, so I'm going to try her again. Lure. Here. Good girl. I'm going to tell her, heel. Good girl. I'm going to keep walking here. And then I'm going to stop, sit, perfect. So I'm just looking for her to follow along with me. And then when I stop moving, for her to return to the sit in the heel position. Okay, so I ran out of treats there. So instead of just walking away, I always give them some sort of release word. So in this case, the release word I use is okay. And that kind of knows she's you know, released from what we're doing. I'm going to start a little bit further back. So I'm going to lure her into heel. Help her here. Perfect. Heel. Excellent. She followed. Now let's see if she'll sit. Good girl. Good job. Heel. Good girl. And keep walking. Let's see if she'll sit. Okay, so she sat kind of crooked, but the healing part, actually walking now, is a little bit different concept. We haven't done a ton of that yet. Heel. Good girl. Heel. Excellent. Heel. Oops. Good girl. So it's a lot of luring in the beginning, and the reason, good girl. I dropped a bunch of treats there. I don't use the leash in the beginning just because it's one more distraction. So I like to kind of teach them the concept first, and then once she kind of gets the hang of that, then we can add the leash in, you know, and that's going to be a little bit more distracting. So just trying to break it into pieces for her so she can understand it a little better. Hey, baby. I'm probably about wrapping up. This is kind of a long session with this. I can tell she's kind of losing interest a little bit. Good girl. She's still doing pretty good. Heel. Yes. I like there that she just walked off. Yes. And she's following along, and I'm luring her a lot, but I'm trying to keep her right next to me. Oh, good girl. I'm just going to end it on that. Little short sessions are good. Good girl. Okay, give her the release word. So when I walk off with my left leg, the reason I do that is it's kind of, eventually it'll be her cue that when she's heeled right next to me, if I walk off with my left leg, it's almost like we're connected and she's to come with me. Eventually, when you continue your obedience training, what I might train her is then if I tell her to stay, I walk off with my right leg and she's to stay in place and not move as I leave her. So that's kind of the reasons for right now when I'm teaching her to heel, I'm constantly taking that first step with my left leg that's right next to her. So anyway, here, good girl, she's doing some manding. We'll see where she's at with her standing. She's been, again, we've just been working on increasing the duration. Try and get her lined up for you guys. There we go. It's always bad when I drop the treat because it kind of takes her focus off. So you can see she's it's definitely not perfect, but she is starting to realize to keep those feet steady and not move as much. So she's definitely improving here. And you notice now I'm holding my finger out. So eventually that'll be her cue when I'm not holding a treat, is to look at my finger. And what that does, right now I'm holding my finger kind of high, but if you wanted to adjust her head placement, you would just raise or lower your finger to adjust her gaze and kind of adjust her, you know, the way she's stacking and her appearance. But we're not quite to that point yet. She's got to be pretty solid in her feet. Oops, that wasn't perfect timing on my end right there. But she's got to be pretty solid with her feet before we do that. But starting to add that in now, so she's familiar with it. Here, kiddo. Do just a little bit more. She's such a spunky little thing. Good girl. Good girl. So remember that click is rewarding that moment of stillness. I mean, we're still just looking for moments of stillness. And so every time I click, that's the reward. I can give her that reward quicker than I can the actual treat. So here, I will show you where we're at here. We're working on sit. Down. Sit. Good girl. Down. Sit. Sit. Good girl. So if she misses it when I tell her to sit, when I give her the command, I try not to say sit, 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 because that will eventually become your command. That will be your word to sit, 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 sit. So if she misses it after I say sit, I try and just wait to see if she might give me the right response that I'm looking for, and then if not, I I will ask her again. But I try not to say it over and over and over again. Down. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Down. Sit. Like that. See how I just waited and then she was able to figure it out? Down. Good girl. Oh, I like that she stayed down. So ideally, I'd like her to, okay, I'd like her to stay in whatever position I put her in until I ask her to do something different. Obviously, she's still just a little puppy, so she's not going to completely get all of that right off the bat. But anytime she does offer it, I will try and give her a reward for that. So that was good. So we're just working through the sits and the downs and just kind of rotating between both of those. So then the last thing I think I'm going to show you here is what I've been working on with her for showing her bite. And this is something that I just think it's a good thing to teach the dogs to do, and the puppies more so when they're puppies. It's easier. That it's okay to have somebody touching your face. A lot of dogs kind of resent it, and it's something you have to work with them on and give them some positive reinforcement for it. So all I've been doing here is, because it's kind of hard to use the clicker and lift her gums and give her a treat, I'm not using the clicker for this, but all I'm doing is placing my hand. She holds that open for me and holds still, and then I give her a treat. So I place a hand underneath her chin, a hand on top of her head, and I can open and look at her bite. Good girl. And then I give her a little treat for that. And I'm working both sides of her face. So here I'm gonna put the treat down. I'm gonna work the other side. So here we go. Good girl. So in the beginning, and again, you know, when I start anything with them, it's that second that they, you know, that they barely get it right, you want to reward them. And once they understand the concept, then you can start adding duration. So that's what I'm doing here. She's understands that this is not scary, and she will hold it. We're adding duration. You see how long I was able to hold her gums up? So in the beginning, when I first started it, it was, oh, she let me do it, let go, give her a treat. But now it's, I can hold your gums up, I can kind of take a look here, take my time, good girl, and I give her a treat. So this is, again, just something, you know, desensitizing them to this different kind of handling. If she were to get really fussy with it, I would then just you know, obviously, you know, if she was real fussy, it might be hard to keep your hands on her, but you're going to try and keep your hands on her as much as you can until she gives you just a slight moment of quietness, and reward it. But right now she's doing pretty darn good. And see here, she kind of resisted a little bit there. That's okay. There we go. Good girl. And I find this is kind of the easiest way to do it right now, is to sit crisscross and have her in my lap. Just in case she got real squirmy, I can kind of hold on to her and contain her for a little bit, rather than if she had, you know, all four of her feet out here in front of me, she could back up and get away. So sitting here is kind of the easiest. But again, it's a hand underneath the chin, a hand on top of the head, and then you can lift those gums up and take a peek. Good. Good girl. She's doing that really, really good. So that's something that, you know, I don't really expect much more than that, but probably the next step would be to see about having other people do it, getting her desensitized to having other people touch her. But right now, I mean, she's doing really, really good with that. Um, I didn't bring the Dremel up here, but like I said, she's been doing the Dremel on her nails. We can't do it all the time because there's not much nail to trim, but I kind of do it the same way that I'm showing you here. Is I'll actually hold her like this, hold the paw here, and then I have the Dremel, and I'm able to do each nail this way. And same with the rears. It's a little funky in the beginning, but you can kind of see I would hold her like this, hold her leg out, Dremel, 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 and then switch her and do the other side. But yeah, overall she's doing really great. We've been working on these exercises about at least twice a day, and I've been doing it both in here. This is kind of the training room. There's not a lot of distractions in here. And then I've also been working with her in the house, which there's a few more distractions in the house. And she's been doing really well with both. So yeah, our next steps are we're going to continue to work on that healing, and adding the leash in and actually going for walks with the leash and working on the obedience for healing. Continue working on the standing, the manding, sits and downs. I need to get out the target again, and work a little more on that with distance. I think she's ready for that, and we're also going to start working on stay. So she's got quite a few things coming up, and probably another bath. But that's about where she's at. She's doing fantastic. I'm just so in love with her. She's really, really fun and enthusiastic. So that just makes it really rewarding. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and we'll be sure to do one more update in a week before she heads home with you guys. All right.